On a desolate world far from Earth, a team of human archaeologists landed on a planet that had remained uncharted in the galactic records. The planet's barren surface was covered in rock formations and ancient, crumbling structures, forgotten by time. Dr. Elena Marsden led the expedition, her face lined with exhaustion but her eyes burning with curiosity. They had come seeking remnants of an alien civilization long thought extinct. What they found was far beyond anything they expected. The team dug deeper into the ruins, uncovering strange symbols and alien technology embedded within the planet's crust. The devices were ancient, far older than any known race in the galaxy. The equipment, unlike anything humanity had encountered before, was layered with a thin, crystalline material that hummed faintly when touched. One afternoon, as the crew cleared away the debris from a large metallic structure, Dr. Marsden's assistant, Sato, uncovered an object buried deep in the ground. It was unlike anything they had seen, an obsidian-black artifact, smooth to the touch but radiating an eerie, cold energy. Its surface was engraved with indecipherable markings, swirling in patterns too intricate to understand. Yet, there was something disturbingly familiar about it, an unsettling resonance in the air around it, as if it recognized their presence. Dr. Marsden knelt beside it, her heart pounding. This isn't just alien tech," she whispered. "It's something else. Something older." The others gathered around, some whispering in awe, others nervously exchanging glances. The artifact seemed to pulse, faintly but rhythmically, as though it were alive, waiting for something, or someone, to interact with it. A chill crept up her spine as she reached out to touch it. As her fingers brushed the surface, a sharp jolt of energy shot through her hand. She gasped, pulling back, but the sensation remained, a nagging familiarity, like a half-remembered dream. Sato frowned. "It's strange. I've seen tech like this before. Not exactly the same, but close. The designs, they remind me of something, but I can't place it." "Impossible," said Dr. Chorus, the team's xenobiologist, shaking his head. "No human has seen anything like this. It predates the formation of most star systems." But Sato wasn't so sure. The more he studied the markings, the more certain he became that this technology resonated on a level that no one else could feel. Something deep inside him stirred as he stared at the artifact. And yet, he couldn't explain it. The team brought their findings to the Galactic Council. They presented their evidence, the inscriptions, the undeniable energy it emitted, and the fact that it didn't match any known alien technology catalogued by the Council. It was ancient, older than most of the galaxy's recorded history, and clearly advanced beyond anything they had imagined. However, when the human team presented their findings, the alien delegates scoffed. A Tiarlarian representative, a reptilian creature known for its arrogance, hissed in disdain. "Humans. Always so eager to believe they've discovered something grand. Your children, crawling in the cosmic dirt. That is nothing but remnants from a long-forgotten race. Meaningless." Others joined in the laughter. The assembly hall echoed with dismissive remarks and quiet chuckles, the sound of alien superiority filling the chamber. To the Council, humans were a young, naive species. They had made strides in technology, sure, but to suggest they'd stumbled upon something significant was an overreach, pure human hubris. Dr. Marsden and her team stood in stunned silence, their excitement doused by the Council's derision. "We're not mistaken," Marsden insisted, her voice steady but her fists clenched. "This artifact is far older than anything we've ever seen. We're barely scratching the surface." But the Council wasn't listening. A delegate from the Zathak, a bird-like species with metallic feathers, waved a dismissive hand. "Humans have barely been in the stars for a few centuries. What makes you think you can understand what you found?" Marsden exchanged a glance with Sato, who was still studying the image of the artifact, his brow furrowed. "There's something they don't see," Sato whispered. "Something in the way it feels. This isn't alien, it's something more. Something connected to us." The Council gave no further attention to the humans' findings, declaring the matter insignificant and brushing aside the discovery. But the team knew better. They had seen something in that artifact, felt something profound. Something that wouldn't be ignored. As they left the council chambers, Marsden couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of uncovering something much bigger than they had anticipated. Whatever they had found wasn't just alien. It was tied to humanity in ways they couldn't yet understand. Back at their research base, the human scientists worked tirelessly to decode the artifact. It was slow, meticulous work, piecing together fragments of a language that predated everything they knew. Days passed without sleep, their focus sharp and unyielding. Each symbol they unlocked brought them closer to something they couldn't fully grasp, until one breakthrough changed everything. Dr. Marsden's hand shook as she stared at the screen in front of her. The partial translation had just completed, and the data that appeared was beyond anything they'd expected. It wasn't just an ancient relic, it was a record. The artifact told the story of a race older than any known civilization, a species so advanced they had seeded life across the stars. The creator race, she whispered, almost to herself. They weren't just explorers. They shaped entire worlds. Sato leaned over her shoulder, eyes wide. The translation revealed that Earth was not an isolated, unique planet, but one of many that had been altered and guided. The creator race had chosen Earth as a testbed, not for some grand experiment in life, but for something far more deliberate. Marsden's heart pounded as the final piece of information was decrypted. Embedded deep within the artifact's core was a genetic sequence. It took hours to process, and when it finally matched something recognizable, the room went silent. The sequence was unmistakably human. Sato spoke first, his voice low and filled with disbelief. This DNA, it's us. We're part of this. They stared at the screen, the implications sinking in. Humanity wasn't simply an evolved species from Earth's ecosystem. They were hybrids, a fusion of this ancient race's DNA and the life forms that had emerged naturally on the planet. The very essence of what made them human was part of a design created eons ago, by a civilization that had long since vanished. Marsden stepped back from the console, trying to steady her thoughts. We're not from Earth, she said quietly. At least, not entirely. The revelation was overwhelming. For years, humans had believed they were the result of natural evolution, shaped by the conditions of their home planet. Now, they had to confront the truth that their origins were far more complex, and far more intertwined with the rest of the galaxy than they had ever imagined. Fear crept into the room. If this information got out, it could change everything. Humanity's role in the galaxy would be seen in a new, unsettling light. No longer just a young, ambitious species, but the offspring of an ancient race with untold power and influence. There was no telling how the other species would react. Would they see humanity as a threat? A rival? Or worse, would they try to suppress this knowledge altogether? Dr. Chorus broke the silence, his voice shaking with uncertainty. Do we even share this with anyone? We don't know how the council will react. Some of them already resent how fast we've grown. This could tip things into chaos. Marsden didn't answer right away. She was torn between the scientists' drive to uncover truth and the political reality of their position. The galaxy wasn't ready for this. Maybe humanity wasn't ready either. The knowledge that they were the result of a cosmic design raised questions about free will, destiny, and the role they were meant to play in the galaxy. But Sato couldn't contain his excitement. This changes everything. We're connected to something far bigger than we imagined. We need to share this. We need to let people know. Chorus shook his head. If we're hybrids, then what else are we? How much of us is human, and how much is something else? Do you really think the council will just accept this? That was the real fear. Humanity was already seen as an upstart species. They had achieved much in a short span of time, enough to make some alien governments uncomfortable. This revelation would only intensify those suspicions. What if the council saw this as proof that humans were a threat to the established order? What if they believed humanity's rise wasn't natural but orchestrated? Somewhere in the galactic halls of power, a few alien diplomats had already started paying attention to the humans' activities. What seemed like rapid technological advancement now felt different, almost inevitable. The whisper of an ancient legacy, long dormant, now stirring once again. Marsden sat down, her mind racing with the weight of the truth. We can't keep this hidden forever. But if we release this too soon? Sato's eyes sparkled with the possibilities. It means we're part of something ancient. Something powerful. Or something dangerous, Chorus muttered. And there it was, the tension between what humanity had discovered and what it would mean for their future. They were no longer just explorers in the galaxy. They were a legacy of the past, and with that came new responsibilities, new dangers, and an uncertain path forward. In the silence that followed, they all knew that whatever choice they made, nothing would ever be the same. The human delegation entered the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, their faces stern and resolute. Led by Ambassador Reynolds, they were about to reveal a truth that would shake the very foundations of the galactic order. The air in the chamber was thick with the anticipation of the alien representatives, many of whom viewed the humans as little more than the latest newcomers to the interstellar stage. Reynolds stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with purpose. We have uncovered something that changes everything. Something about humanity's origins, and its place in this galaxy. The murmurs among the alien representatives grew louder, some exchanging amused glances, others looking bored. Reynolds activated a holoprojection, displaying the decoded information from the artifact. The images showed genetic sequences, historical data, and the intricate design of the alien technology they had found. We are not just from Earth, Reynolds said, his voice firm. Humanity was seeded by an ancient race, a creator race, that shaped the very foundations of life across the galaxy. Our DNA is a fusion of their legacy and Earth's lifeforms. We are hybrids of an ancient lineage, part of something far older than any of us knew. For a moment, silence filled the chamber. Then, the laughter started. A delegate from the Tnari, a species known for their technological prowess, leaned back in his chair, his deep voice booming. Humans, always full of ambition. You think because you've discovered some relic that you're suddenly an ancient race? Please. You've barely been in the stars for a few hundred years. You're nothing but children playing with toys you don't understand. A chorus of chuckles followed, the larger assembly joining in. The Dursin, a stoic, cold-blooded race, regarded the humans with thinly veiled disdain. We have studied this galaxy for millennia. If such a race existed, we would have found evidence long before you stumbled upon this artifact. Reynolds didn't flinch, holding his ground. We've already shown you the genetic sequences. They match human DNA. The proof is undeniable. The council's head, a towering being from the Zether, raised a hand to quiet the crowd. His voice, smooth yet commanding, resonated through the hall. What you present is intriguing, Ambassador, but it is not conclusive. You claim that humans are descendants of a race more ancient than the galaxy itself, yet there are no records of such a species. Where is your concrete evidence? Reynolds was about to respond and an unexpected voice interrupted. Perhaps we've overlooked something. The room turned to the source of the voice, a representative from the Thala, a reclusive species known for their vast archives of galactic history. Unlike the others, they had remained silent throughout the proceedings, their holographic form flickering slightly as they spoke. There are gaps in our historical knowledge. Fragments of ancient records that speak of a race that seeded life across the stars. Perhaps the humans are not as naive as you think. The room shifted, the murmurs now tinged with uncertainty. The ambassador from the VRE talk, a warrior race, leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. You speak of myths and legends. If humanity truly comes from such a lineage, what does that mean for the balance of power in the galaxy? Are we to believe that humans, who have only recently emerged, are now to be treated as equals to the elder races? Reynolds met his gaze, unflinching. We're not asking for special treatment. But you cannot deny the facts. We are part of an ancient legacy, whether you choose to believe it or not. Humanity deserves to be recognized for what we truly are. A ripple of unease spread through the chamber. The possibility that humanity's rapid rise wasn't just a fluke but the result of an ancient, long-forgotten force now gave the council pause. For years, they had dismissed humanity as young and inexperienced, yet here was proof, hard evidence, that humans were more than they appeared. This new revelation threatened to upset the delicate balance of power that had existed for eons. As the council debated, a handful of alien representatives began to pay closer attention. These were the ones who had always been wary of humanity's swift technological advances, their ability to adapt and overcome challenges that would have crushed other species. They had suspected there was more to humanity than met the eye, and now, those suspicions were taking root. One of them, a representative from the Veolith, who had previously remained indifferent to human affairs, finally spoke up. If what the humans say is true, then we must consider the implications. This creator race, if it existed, may have had designs for the galaxy that we do not understand. And if humanity is the key to unlocking those designs, we cannot ignore them. Others in the room grew restless. Some feared what this could mean. If humans were indeed linked to a race of immense power, they might have access to technologies and knowledge that could shift the very fabric of galactic society. Others saw opportunity, a chance to align with humanity and tap into the potential that lay within them. Reynolds could see the tide turning, albeit slowly. The council was not yet convinced, but the seeds of doubt had been planted. He knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had uncovered the truth about its origins, but revealing it to the galaxy would not come without consequences. As the meeting drew to a close, the council's head issued a final statement. We will review the evidence further. But until then, humanity remains under observation. The implications of your claim, should it be verified, are far-reaching. Proceed with caution, Ambassador. Reynolds gave a slight nod. We will. But know this, we're not going to fade into the background. We have a right to be here, and we won't be silenced. The humans left the chamber, their heads held high. They knew the road ahead would be difficult. The other species might not be ready to accept humanity's ancient legacy, but that didn't matter. The truth was out there now, and no amount of disbelief could change it. The days following the council's meeting were tense, like the calm before a storm. Rumors spread quickly across the galaxy about humanity's bold claims. Many dismissed them as fantasies, but some couldn't shake the unsettling possibility that the humans might be telling the truth. The council's most powerful members, alarmed by the implications, moved swiftly to contain the situation. Behind closed doors, a quiet conspiracy began to form. The Drither, a militaristic race with vast influence, spearheaded efforts to discredit and suppress humanity's findings. To them, it was unthinkable that an upstart species like humans could hold the key to a forgotten legacy of power. If it were true, it would mean that humanity had the potential to surpass even the oldest and most powerful races in the galaxy. They couldn't allow that. Orders were given. Surveillance increased around human territories, and key trade routes were subtly disrupted. Diplomatic envoys that once offered polite greetings now spoke with veiled threats. The message was clear: back down, or face the consequences. But humanity wasn't one to back down. In fact, they had been preparing for this very moment. On Earth and its colonies, leaders from various factions came together in a rare moment of unity. It was clear that the galaxy was not going to accept the truth easily. If they were to prove their lineage, they would have to do more than offer evidence. They would have to defend their right to exist as equals, perhaps even more. Admiral Clark, a veteran of countless skirmishes, addressed the gathered leaders in a strategy meeting. They're afraid, she said bluntly. They know we've discovered something that could shift the entire balance of power. And they're going to do everything they can to stop us. But we're not going to sit quietly and take it. If they want a fight, they'll get one. The decision was made. Humanity would mobilize its fleets and protect its people from any hostile moves. Not only that, but they would actively seek out more remnants of the creator race, proving once and for all that their heritage wasn't a fluke, but a reality. The first sign of the coming conflict was a sudden skirmish near the outskirts of human-controlled space. A Drither patrol fleet, emboldened by the Council's tacit approval, fired on a human convoy, hoping to send a message. What they hadn't anticipated was the human response. Within minutes, a coordinated strike from nearby human ships dismantled the Drither forces, their advanced shields and weaponry overwhelmed by the human superior tactics. Humanity's ingenuity had always been their greatest weapon. Where other species relied on brute force or technological superiority, humans combined adaptability, creativity, and sheer determination. The Drither learned that day that humans were not to be trifled with. Word of the skirmish spread quickly. Alien leaders watched in shock as reports detailed how a supposedly inferior human fleet had decisively won against one of the Council's most formidable military powers. For the first time, some of them began to take the humans seriously. But the conflicts didn't stop there. Across the galaxy, more skirmishes flared up as different factions tested humanity's resolve. Each time, humans fought back with a fierceness that caught their enemies off guard. They weren't just defending their newfound identity, they were embracing it. In the midst of the growing conflict, a secret human research team made a breakthrough. Using data from the artifact and intelligence gathered from other relics scattered throughout the galaxy, they pieced together more of humanity's lost history. They found that the creator race had hidden knowledge and technology on several planets, leaving clues for their descendants to discover. The discoveries were staggering. One site revealed ancient star charts, marking locations of even more artifacts. Another contained a dormant AI, long deactivated, but still holding the secrets of advanced technologies that could catapult humanity's progress even further. As the human researchers delved deeper into these ancient ruins, they began to see the full picture. Humanity's creators hadn't just been seeding life, they had been preparing for something, perhaps even a return. The more humanity uncovered, the more their connection to this long-lost race solidified. The truth was undeniable now, and with each new revelation, humanity grew stronger. But strength came with a price. The Council, realizing that their initial attempts to undermine humanity had failed, escalated their efforts. Powerful fleets from various alien species were mobilized, and the whisper of war began to grow louder. It was clear that humanity's ascension was now a threat to the entire galactic order, and the old powers would not give up their dominance easily. Yet, humanity stood firm. For the first time in their history, they were united not just as Earthlings or colonists, but as a people with a shared, ancient legacy. This was no longer about mere survival, it was about reclaiming what had been lost, about asserting their rightful place among the stars. As the galaxy watched, humanity did what they had always done, they adapted, they fought, and they endured. Every battle, every discovery, only fueled their determination. They weren't just proving their ancient lineage, they were becoming something new, something greater than what even their creators had intended. And the galaxy was beginning to understand a hard truth: humanity was no longer the underdog. They were the storm that had been brewing for millennia, and now, nothing could stop them. The air hummed with the tension of impending conflict. Fleets from across the galaxy gathered at the edge of human space, their ships casting long shadows over the stars. This was to be the final stand, the moment that would decide humanity's fate. For years, the Council had tried to suppress the truth, to deny humanity its rightful place, but now, everything had come to a head. In the command center aboard the flagship Resolve, Admiral Clark stood before her crew. The odds were daunting. A coalition of alien forces, many of whom had never before stood side by side, had formed to crush humanity once and for all. But Clark's expression was calm, her voice steady. They think we're alone. They think we're outnumbered. But they've forgotten who we are. We've faced extinction before. We're still here. Outside, the fleets moved into position. Human ships, sleek and powerful, took their places against the vast armada. There was no turning back now. Messages from alien commanders crackled through the comms, offering terms of surrender, promising mercy if humanity would renounce its claims. Clark's response was simple. We don't surrender. The battle began like a spark igniting dry tinder. Explosions lit up the dark void, and ships clashed in a furious dance of fire and steel. The alien coalition was vast, their fleets well organized and battle-hardened. But the humans fought with a tenacity that no one had anticipated. They were not just defending their territory, they were defending their very identity, their right to exist as something greater than what the galaxy had deemed them. As the battle raged, it became clear that humanity was tapping into something deeper. Their hybrid nature, the genetic inheritance from the ancient creators, had unlocked latent potential within them. They fought with an almost uncanny instinct, adapting and improvising in ways that their enemies couldn't match. Alien ships fell one by one, their tactics unraveled by human ingenuity and fierce determination. In the heat of the conflict, a breakthrough came. A team of scientists aboard a hidden station, working furiously to decode the final pieces of the ancient artifact, succeeded. The data was transmitted to every human ship, and then, in a moment of stunning clarity, the last piece of the puzzle clicked into place. Clark knew what had to be done. As the battle continued to rage around her, she ordered the broadcast. Every ship in the system, human and alien alike, received the transmission. The final, undeniable proof of humanity's origins flashed across their screens: images, data, and the voice of the ancient AI, now fully awakened, recounting the Creator's mission to seed life across the stars. It was a story that spanned millennia, and at its heart was humanity, a hybrid race, forged from the DNA of the Creators and Earth's life, meant to evolve into something new, something powerful. The galaxy could no longer deny it. The truth was out. On the alien ships, silence fell as the transmissions were processed. The coalition, now faced with undeniable evidence, faltered. Their fear of humanity had driven them to the brink of war, but now they understood, humanity was not an anomaly, not a threat to be erased. They were the legacy of an ancient race, a people destined to shape the galaxy's future. The battle ended not with a final, crushing blow, but with a retreat. One by one, the alien fleets withdrew, leaving humanity in possession of the battlefield. The cost had been high, but the victory was total. In the days that followed, the Galactic Council convened once more. This time, there was no laughter, no scoffing. Humanity stood before them, not as petitioners, but as equals. The council leader, once so dismissive, now spoke with a measured respect. The galaxy has learned much from your people. We acknowledge your heritage, and your place among us. The words were diplomatic, cautious, but they carried weight. Humanity had not only survived the onslaught, they had claimed their identity, their legacy. The hybrid nature that once seemed a mystery was now their greatest strength, a symbol of resilience and adaptability. As the council adjourned, humanity was left to ponder its future. They were no longer the underdogs, the scrappy newcomers to the galactic stage. They were the heirs to an ancient legacy, and with that came both power and responsibility. The galaxy would never be the same. And yet, even with their newfound status, the questions lingered. What would come next? What secrets still lay hidden in the depths of the stars? Humanity had unlocked its past, but the future remained uncertain. They would need to tread carefully, for with great power came great danger. But if there was one thing humanity had proven, it was that they could face any challenge. They had fought for their place among the stars, and now, they stood ready to shape their destiny. Whatever lay ahead, one truth was clear: humanity was no longer a species defined by its limitations. They were something more. Something powerful. And the galaxy was watching.